Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk The Walking Dead Q&A number 103. Before we get into this, two things. One, if you're new here, obviously you can find the rules to participate. It's the best way in that video description. And number two, in about a week or two, we're launching the MAP Facebook group, which I'm really excited for this. I'm already talking to people about being moderators, and this is going to be cool because this can give us an opportunity for the MAP family to not just ask the questions, but to come together and pick questions that are hot. And not just stupid shit like, hey, if you drink bleach, will you piss out your ears, or die and vomit through your asshole? Because those, listen, there's a lot of kids on YouTube. That's a fact. And sometimes they'll be like, that's funny, and they'll click the like, so you'll get the most ridiculous question. We'll have like 659,000 likes. So yes, obviously, thumbing up the questions isn't the best thing, and I keep a track on that, but with this new MAP group, it's not a page, it's a group where we can all go and be active, and it's not a fan group for MAP, it's fans and content creators, not just on YouTube, but if you're going to school for anything in the entertainment industry, I'm trying to create a home for all of us to talk. Let's jump into this. All right, today I'm scrolling right through. We got a lot going on, so might not be able to edit this one. I do apologize. Monty Big Boar. Lucy is bathed in blood, but Negan has not a drop on him. Do you think he starts it and hands it over to his right-hand man? No. It's more likely that they just fucked up, and didn't put blood on Negan for this scene. If they rehearsed the scene, if they played the scene out, if Negan was doing the beating and he didn't get blood on him doing that, actually they might have just been like, oh yeah, it's more believable because they were on set and they saw that somebody didn't get blood all over them. However, DARYL's blanket is there, and if DARYL doesn't interrupt, Negan can simply walk over to a wounded, shocked, close to fainting. He's got to be weak as shit. He's lost so much blood. He's got a fucking bullet wound. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like anyone's putting pressure on it. Doesn't look like there's any bandage on it. And Lord knows how long he's been sitting there from daytime to dark, bleeding out, essentially. So maybe he walks over to DARYL, rips the blanket thing off of him, and just wipes his face off. That's possible. I mean, I would prefer something like that than him miraculously not having blood on him. And I know people were like, oh, there's no blood on his clothes. That was tough to tell. I mean, we only saw so little of him. There could be blood splattered somewhere where we just didn't see it. We didn't pick up on it. But I hope it's not just like a Father Gabriel moment. I hope it's not like that. I know Greg Nicotero is so funny. He's talked in the commentary for the episode where Father Gabriel goes out in a white shirt and then he kills a zombie, lays on the ground. And they said that was an ad-lib they let the scene play out, and Seth Gilliam, who plays Father Gabriel, did this ad-lib at the end where he falls to the ground and he's crying because he went out there to kill himself. And I don't know if we discussed this in the review, but he went out there to kill himself, and the walker came to him and he was going to let the walker eat him, kind of like Carol did. But he saw the noose around the walker's head and he was like, I'm not becoming a walker. That's why he killed the walker, then he killed the guy. But he was in a white shirt and he came back fresh and clean, and he laughed about it later because if he could do it over again, chances are he would have changed Father Gabriel's shirt for that scene, which they had to have been busy or tired or something, because you would think immediately on The Walking Dead, if anyone wears a white shirt, I thought about it immediately when I saw him. I was like, white? Are you kidding me, dude? I don't like wearing white now because I know I'm bound to get it dirty somehow. Brian Manning, is there a meaning behind the name of your channel? Yes, you can look up personal Q&As. It's on the channel. Q&A, Zombie Killer 2001. If All Out War takes place in Season 8, how do you think they will fit it into 16 episodes? Will there be filler? I think they can do it, All Out War, technically in one, because there's spillover. There's always spillover story. And with All Out War on TV, having this big of a cast, there's so many different side stories, you know what I mean? You can confront Negan. You can have Rick Grimes confront Negan with the whole community in episode 2 or 3, because the first episode will be spillover from season 7, which is technically the beginning of All Out War, but it's technically not. Comic book fans will know what that means, because you're just putting a label on it. Okay, this is when they're going to war. But characters do things before all-out war that lead to all-out war. So what I'm saying is there will be spillovers. So yes, Season 8 could have all-out war in it, but technically the actual war might not be let me shut that off. All Out War might not be episode 1 where they go to war. It might lead to war, and then episode 4 or 5 to episode 16 would be the actual war. Maybe even to 15, and then episode 16 would be the lead out, the aftermath of war leading into the new season with a whole new environment. Oh, I'm so excited for that. But yeah, so in a way, season 8 can be all out war, but you don't need every single episode to be the war, if you get what I'm saying. Ranch King, what are your final predictions for the premiere? Using spoilers. I don't want to make any final predictions using spoilers. Listen, I know it's getting close to the premiere, and a lot of people are getting touchy, I'm noticing. The majority of you guys are fucking on point. You guys know what's up. You know this channel. You're comfortable with this channel, but I'm noticing, and we've been getting some growth, so I'm noticing some new people, but I'm also noticing some comments where people, like, I debunked that picture. I was getting a shit ton of people sending me that Glenn picture. It's not Glenn, so I debunked the shit, and then I got 3 or 4 people mad that I'm posting spoilers, and it's like, that's not a spoiler. One person yelled at me for putting a spoiler of the character who died in the title of a video that said sneak peek breakdown. I got yelled at for putting a name character death in the title. I don't know. Shit blows my mind on YouTube every day. It's something new, but I don't want to use spoilers. When I do talk about the double death, when I do talk about the rumor with Carl, those are things that you can't avoid. People post them on AMC. AMC posts a video on YouTube. People are commenting double death Carl shit. AMC posts a post on Facebook or Twitter. You'll see people comment that immediately. Go check social media. It's true shit, homie. So there's no way to avoid it. In that case, I do talk about it because it's in the fandom so much. Here's a person copy and pasting a question we answered 2 Q&As ago. Who has been the most annoying character on the show for you? That's rough. A lot of these characters, I think they do a tremendous job with the casting, and there's a lot of characters that they just don't annoy me like that. I'm sure there's a character in the previous season. I'm sure there's characters that annoy you on purpose. Like some shit Father Gabriel did when he snitched. That annoyed the fuck out of me. But the character didn't. It wasn't the casting. It annoyed me, but it's perfect. It's one of those. So, yeah, Father Gabriel, when he snitched, he annoyed me, but he redeemed himself. There's shit Morgan did that annoyed me, but he redeems himself. There's a quality about Tara that annoyed me for a large part, but I really do like that little bit of comedic, side to her, so it's rough. It's difficult. There's not one character I can pinpoint that says that person annoys the shit out of me. Maybe in an older season I feel like there's somebody in season 3. Do you think season 7 needs a new intro in terms of using pictures and such, not a new format? No, never, ever change the format. This is coming from Negan. I don't know which one of you. There's like 17 Negans. But yeah, I do think they need a new intro because I think they need Lucille in the intro. I don't feel like they would do an intro without Lucille now. I just don't feel like it, Lollytube. I have a theory and a question. Okay, so let's say Abraham gets killed or he gets the bat. Who do you think would most likely flip her shit at the moment, Sasha or Rosita? If I could just pick one that would flip their shit, I'd probably have to go with Rosita. Sasha. Sasha seems like a fiery one. Rosita seems fiery, but she seems like she would be more in shock at the moment and crushed and paralyzed, But then again, Sasha looked terrified. Soniqua, is that how you say her name? She did a fantastic job in season 6. Just fabulous. Here's Morgan Jones. Whatever happened to Mikey? I hate how they had Mikey, Ron, and Enid's friend, who is the son of Nicholas. He came out once and never again. Yeah, I don't know. I see that question every now and then. I don't know. I would look into the actor if you really wanted to know. He probably took a different gig, or they just didn't feel like he was necessary for the story. But it still would be nice just to pay him $50. I mean, if I was in his shoes, I would go on set for free and be in the background. as much as possible. Like, as much as possible. This is something where in 20 years from now, you're going to want to look back and be like, man, I wish I said, I'll do shit for free. Just put me in the background. You know, oh, fuck. I don't know why more actors don't do that. I know every day's a hustle. You know what I'm saying? But, man, there's just something where I would probably do that. I would offer all the time, you know, to add realism to it. You'll just see Ronnie Hayes walking back and forth, you know. Ronnie, it's been confirmed, and then you say some weird shit. I don't know. Maybe that was a joke. Ronnie, do you think that Negan will have a lot of screen time? This is coming from Matthew Schmierden. I never pronounce your name right. Yes, yeah, they already confirmed that. Andrew Lincoln said that he had a lot of time off because Negan had a lot of dialogue. Or screen time. This is coming from James Milligan. Ronnie, do you see they named the episode 701, The Day Will Come When You Won't Be? I like how they are pulling that line from season 1. I still think it should be called Something to Fear. My quick thoughts, I might do a follow-up podcast-style video on this because I do want to have a long conversation about this and a couple other things. I might be able to record that tonight. But my initial thoughts was slight disappointment. And I felt that I felt like they could be using that early. Now, first off, could they name episode 2 Something to Fear? Or are they pulling a fast one here? Now, we don't need the death in Something to Fear, because technically it happened in episode 16, but could they do something with the story where they give us the death in 701, but 702 is Something to Fear? I don't know. Could they be saving Something to Fear for the end of the season? I don't know. It's tricky because chances are they might use Something to Fear in the future, which would be odd. But the reason why I find it odd they're using this, I feel like they would hold on to this for as long as possible for when the season might be coming to a close. Imagine bookending the season with Jenner saying that in season 1, and the very final season, none of us want it to happen, but the day when it comes, imagine having an episode, one of the last episodes, being called that, if it fits the story where shit is just going bad. So I feel like, or at least I'm confused why they didn't just hold off and save that, because we all know that once this shit happens, they're going to be like, you know what, we're not going to lie down and take this, you know? So I don't know. I just don't feel like they are not thankful that he opened the doors. You know, whatever Jenner said, the day will come when you won't be. He's grateful, that's what he said. Or something like that. Do you think Rick will outlive Carl, Spy Sapin? I feel like we talk about this a lot. On the show, yes. In the comic, no way. No way. If you want the comic to have longevity, past Rick Grimes, Carl needs to take the main storyline after a while. And I feel like they're starting to set Carl up. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. But I feel like they're starting it now. Ronnie, what are your thoughts on 7... Oh, we already talked about that. Ronnie, do you think they will show the process of Negan ironing a man's face? No, he's probably going to iron his clothes. Negan's a sharp dresser, but he doesn't shave in the TV show, so maybe he doesn't iron his clothes. So, yeah, fuck it. He irons somebody's face. But I don't think they should flash back and show Dwight. I'm going to keep saying this. I think they should show a new person because DARYL's there. Showing what happens to Dwight doesn't do as much for the story. You know, okay, we see he has a burn face, but showing somebody else go through the process while DARYL's witnessing it next to Dwight and he can see, burn face, oh fuck, that's what happened, da-da-da-da. I don't know, I feel like that's much more impactful, and the other person that's getting burnt, you can utilize that for the story as well, so it's like two birds with one stone type thing, you know what I mean? Ronnie, could you see Negan, wait, did I say who asked that? Devastator, 2078. Ronnie, could you see Negan taking Rosita, Maggie, Sasha, Michonne as one of his women? The Nimble 12, no, absolutely not. You know, he might offer, he might ask, but women go to Negan. I'm tired of this rumor going around. One other thing I'm tired of in this community, and this is just the time we live in, but people like to, you know, twist things. I clarified in a video what Negan does and doesn't do, you know, based off the comic. We don't know if they're going to change that for the show, but because I clarify it, I support it. It's like, what? Listen, if multiple women want to be my wives, I'll do that. In real life, I don't give a shit. I do not believe in marriage. I don't believe in the vows. I don't believe in any of that. So sure, but I would never force women. That's not my thing. Mentally, maybe it's chemicals in my brain, but I shut down if a woman's not interested. I'm like, I no longer am interested, and I will just refocus. I will rezone my focus on a woman who is interested. I don't know. Maybe it's just different people are into different things, but I couldn't do what Negan did. But if 3 or 4 women were like, hey, we all want to, be your wife, I'm like, okay, let's do this, man. So let's clarify. Negan, that's not what he does. It's kind of what he does, but no. He might try. He might offer, like I said, but if Michonne is like, Negan will just be like, okay, whatever, and leave and find somebody who's weak, because he finds weak women, in my opinion. Ronnie, do you think Tyrese should have been the victim of the... No, fuck no. Fuck no. Who asked that? I'm the Joker. You asked if Tyrese should be the victim of Lucille. No. Do you think they'll give Rick his new beginning look eventually? Jake, Midwinter. Eventually, yeah. Not to a T, but close. Is it just me, or is it very unrealistic that the show would ever have 2 babies at the same time? No, that's just you. The 182. I said this, actually, speaking of, I know we answered this, but it's been months, maybe a year. But listen, guys, they did it back in the day where they didn't have medicine, where you had, kids and babies dying all the time. The lifespan was, really bad. But they did it. They had babies all over the world, believe it or not. So no, it's not unrealistic whatsoever to think that they can have 2 babies, in the world. No, I mean, nothing's different from the world they live in compared to what, hundreds and hundreds of years ago on this very soil, except for the zombies. Other than that, they have the same means of surviving as back in the day. And I mean back in the day. Q&A. Hey man, I have an interesting theory. How long is your theory? My theory is that Glenn gets the bat, Abraham gets beat up and falls into a coma. Ooh, coma theory, huh? I don't like that. Which would explain why 2 of them could be the top picks. No, I just don't like the theory. I mean, again, it's likely that it looks like AMC is... not trying to hide any spoilers, but it's likely they're actually doing a really good job, and I'm hoping that, man, it would be shocking if they just said screw it and kill 3 people, man. I think that 2 is like the predictable thing, but you never hear anyone, at least as far as on this comment section, I don't think I've ever read anyone saying, what if they just kill 3? I mean, that would be like, oh, wait, that's a different playing field. 2 is the most predictable thing, because it's like, oh, they kill 1 in the comic. What if they kill 2 in the show? But 3, it would be like, oh, I didn't think they'd go that far. Like, fuck me. I think Rick will get his hand chopped off in the future. What do you think? Caleb Fortney. No, I don't think he'll get his hand chopped off. Mikey, you asked that last one. And this Q&A is a bit different. I know we're going to get somebody to comment, but I'm just scrolling through my phone picking. Sometimes I don't know. It's hard to explain, man, because I'm like, I don't do this for a living, and there's certain people that just don't, slack. You know what I mean? If you turned around and you were like, oh, I want to do this for a living, but let's do Patreon or let's do support for the channel, and then I'll be able to perfect some of these things, you'll get that group that will always bitch. But then when you have a half an hour to sit down, record, do questions, and then upload the video, and you're like, guys, I'm trying my best, you still will get people that will yell at you. So I guess it's a lose-lose for some of you out there. But the majority of you kick ass. That's all I worry about. Dalton Shady. We all agree that Negan is too skinny. AMC needs to provide some steroids. If he and when he gets bigger and more muscular like comic Negan, do you think they'll add a tiny bit of story where Negan was sicker? No. They don't need to add any background to why he's not as big as he was. Just have him get big. Do you think they will have the Carl scene at the Sanctuary replaced by DARYL? Galvatron Productions. I think a large portion of the Carl scene will get replaced with DARYL, kind of. I don't think they're going to mimic that scene. I think you will have DARYL at the Sanctuary, again, because I think they need him with the Dwight story, but I feel like it's not at all going to be the same style. You know what I'm saying? Like with Carl, it was different. It was a kid. He was teasing with them. He was also showing him the ropes. He was also feeling him out, and he was also tormenting him, kind of punishing him a little bit, and just messing with him too in a way. So I don't think he's going to do that to DARYL, nowhere near the same way. Rhonda Daisy, hey Ronnie, why don't we see a more realistic number of pets in the world of The Walking Dead? Many people place their pets in high priority than humans. I don't know, we saw one at Alexandria, but yeah, I feel like there would be a little bit more pets. I don't know, maybe it's obviously the technical side. There's pet laws on when you can have pets on set. I mean, pets don't always do what you need them to do. They don't always do what you want them to do, so it's probably just easier, Same thing with kids and child walkers and stuff. It's just easier. If this was an animated series, I think we would see things play out a little differently as far as backgrounds, baby walkers, child walkers, shit like that. Not baby walkers, but you get what I'm saying. Pets and dogs and all that. In The Walking Dead, do you think Glenn was always the best choice for the Lucille death? Yes, absolutely. Who asked that? Breaking Dead. I made this one a little longer for you guys because I think we skipped a Q&A on Monday, and I'm not promising any more daily Q&As because I'm trying to do some other things. I want to do some other special videos that have a lot of editing. So leave your thoughts and opinions in that comment box. Let me know if you're excited for those of you who are interested in this. I always ask these questions, and you get people who aren't on Facebook who are like, I don't like fucking Facebook. Why are you doing that? And it's like, well, if you're into it, if you're in the whatever, man, don't yell at me. Why are y'all yelling at me, motherfuckers? I'm out of here. Subscribe now.